Hello YouTube, this is Amos Bro, and for this particular video we are going to be discussing and reviewing Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Act 0, which was released on March 25th, 2005. However, the actual series was released broadcast between October 4th, 2003 and September 25th, 2004. So, chronologically speaking, this episode actually aired after everything else. Okay? This episode discussed the birth of Sailor V. Okay? In which Aino Minako was kind of hanging out one night on Christmas when some stuff started happening around her, not least of which was there was a robbery, and then a white stuffed cat named Artemis ended up dropping on her head. Yeah. See how this is going yet? After this happens, Minako, who, much like her counterpart at the beginning of episode 1, spoiler alert, doesn't believe that she is supposed to be one of the Sailor Guardians. Yeah, they're referred to as the Pretty Guardians or Sailor Guardians in this series, not soldiers. Well, they are mentioned as Senshi, but anyway, that's another story. Anyway, after being told that she is one of the Senshi, one of the Guardians, she kind of plays off at first. And Artemis shows her by using her cell phone, or a cell phone, especially May's cell phone. And the cell phone is used for transformation to become Sailor V. It should be noted, by the way, that only 2 sailors that I know of ever used this transformation. Sailor V and another character later on in the series I'll be discussing once I actually talk about the series. Now, the storyline goes that a person running a jewel thievery ring named Cutie Kenko, could be wrong on that last name, by the way, is trying to steal all the jewels in the country. There's just one small problem. Yeah, Sailor V's on the case now. Now, Sailor V, aka Aino Minako, is actually a pop idol. Wait a second. I thought she was a cop. Yeah, that's one of the things they changed for this series. Occupations. And they also did a bit more character development with each of the characters, as you find out through the course of the main series, which we'll be talking about when we do that. Incidentally, there will only be 3 videos. A review on Act 0, what we're doing right now, a review on the main series, and then the special act, which I decided will be treated separately, because it was released separately. Alrighty? Now, back to this. This episode, and a good portion of the series, does deal with some comedy. Probably more so the comedy than anything. But there is a good amount of character development that will be done in the actual series. This was more comedic than anything, because the dude, who we'll just call Cutie, that's the first name of the person anyway, is probably, as I like to refer to it, fruitier than a fruit bat. This dude makes the anime version of Zoisite look straight, alright? He might have been, but good night. You couldn't have proven it to me. Anywho. So, they decide they're going to go heist this one jewelry store. A.k.a. that jewelry store is called Jupiter. And across the way from that store is an apartment complex which a certain thunderous senshi was having an issue with her landlord. You know who I'm talking about yet? No? Come on. You don't know? No, I went out of order because before that we met another senshi. Know who she is? Come on, think about it. Who's the one with the IQ allegedly of 300? And who's probably also my favorite senshi of all time? My favorite character from cinema of all time. Did you get it yet? Alright, good, I'll keep going. Anyway, so we met those characters, and we've also met, of course, Aino Minako, aka C'est La Vie. The episode gets comical because, well, at first she doesn't come to grips with the idea that she is C'est La Vie, and having to use her moon disc, as I like to call it, she wasn't exactly the best shot, at least early in the episode. Episode runs for like 25 minutes, by the way, in case you're interested. All the episodes ran for about 25-30 minutes. Okay? And trust me when I tell you, oh, this becomes fun. After taking out this bloke, she has to find out who exactly the leader of the whole thing is. Well, guess what? Like I mentioned, Sora Usagi and her friends, and hilarity from this point forward ensues. Now, would I recommend that you go and watch this episode? Absolutely. Is it really necessary? No, because you do get a good introduction for each one of the main senshi in their respective episodes early within the actual series. But it is good because during Act 0 you get to see how, Aino Minako becomes C'est La Vie. You also, if you choose to watch it, get to find out how Tuxedo Cayman actually became such. Came to be. So, it is definitely worth a watch if you so choose to. Should also be noted that apparently, at one point during the episode, Motoki, who becomes the sort of love interest of one of the senshi later in the actual series, was talking to someone on the phone. You know who it was? Come on. Who do you think it was? Alright. Anywho, of course, you're going to want to watch this episode just for its comedy value. But I'll promise you, when we get to the actual series, it gets a lot more serious. So if you would ask me on a scale of 1 to, we'll say 5, what I think of Act 0, we'll give it about a 4. There were some really silly parts that kind of made me go, really? We're putting this in the episode? But then again, you realize what they're in there for, so you go, okay. And you don't knock it down too bad. 4 out of 5, and here's the plan for the series. I will not start it on April Fool's Day. I will start it April 2nd. The plan is, as it stands right now, from 12 to 3 in the morning to go through a couple of the episodes. I figure I can get through about 6. There's 49 episodes, so it'll take us about 8 days to get through everything. And then you'll get a review of the actual series. Because I've never actually officially done one, because I've never actually officially completed it. But I promise you, it'll be a lot of fun to do. So, until then, my friends, I will talk to you all later. Take care.